Okay, I've added a few little bits just to the Rhino, just to make it look a little bit more commanding. This is a gun barrel off a Predator with the scanner off the front of a land speeder. This is just a random aerial from one of the tank sprues, I think. And then I've got this this Dark Angel specific scanner that goes on a land speeder as well. Added the Hunter Killer missile here as well because that's an option for them. So just other than that, I'm back to working on the cockpit guy. And okay, so between the GoPro battery dying and me just tipping away at this, and I need free 5 or 10 minutes I get, I'm not filming random stuff. I don't really know where I've stopped filming. So let me just catch you up on some stuff that I may not have filmed. Okay, I added a few little things, little scanners, extra aerials, just to make it look a little bit more command-like. Hunter Killer missile added. I drilled out the exhaust, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned already. See, stuff like this, and I decide I'm going to do stupid little things like cut out the windows and and break here and here. So I do need to do some green stuff work, so I'll fill in them. But like, I mean, that was completely pointless. Something I felt I wanted to do one day. You may remember before I said, oh, this is gonna be great because I can just flip this over and it will be for the Rhino Primaris. Now that the door is in here, this doesn't fit in upside down anymore. So that's kind of lame and kind of annoying. So what I kind of need to do now is, because I don't have a spare one of these plates, obviously the Rhino Primaris variant is still going to have a hatch, but I needed something to fill this gap, so I took one of these. It's a really old model Rhino top hatches and just a radar from the accessory sprue, and that kind of just pops in there nicely. I'm not too sure how I like that just yet, but for now it's doing the job, I guess. On the interior, I keep pricking around with the cockpit section. I couldn't get it right. The DVD boxes, or the game boxes I was using rather, and they were quite brittle, and when I would clip them, they wouldn't shatter, but the stress cracks would form around my cuts. So I kind of gave up on that, and I used a bit of spare sprue to create a bit of a wall here. And your little hole is going to need green stuff, and then there's a bit of a DVD case there just to support it because it was quite flimsy. So that's where that is. Then the other thing I decided to do was, very stupidly, I decided to cut into the hull more, because for some reason I decided I wanted to kind of flush mount this control panel into the wall. So I'm going to need to green stuff up some of that because my cuts weren't great. So that leads me on to a segue that my cuts weren't great, and anything I was trying to cut make I was eyeballing, and I literally only had this really crappy needle file, which you can see is absolutely clogged with plastic and metal and green stuff and all sorts of whatever. So I bought a little mini measuring ruler. Why could I not remember what this is called? It's a ruler, a little small steel ruler, so that'll be handy to measure stuff. I'll try and stop eyeballing things as much. And then a set of proper needle files, which are actually going to be sharp and have a variety of shapes and possibly grits, but I think mainly just shapes. But these should help a lot. The other thing I found was I got these in Mark's Models in Town, which is a shop I completely forgot existed. And guess what they sold? Plasticard. It's much thicker, it's probably more durable, it's probably easier to work with than those DVD cases. So I'm going to be able to make stuff in the cockpit a little bit easier now. And finally, something I picked up today. I need a floor to go into the cockpit. So I decided to do was replicate this mesh floor. And what I've done is I got this stuff at Halfords. This is for car repair. Not everyone would maybe think of Halfords for modeling supplies. That's a pretty close size and scale comparison, so that's going to look pretty cool. I'm at a point now where I need to just actually focus on some work, stop dicking around with it so much, finish it and paint it, because I'm just going to keep messing with it and keep playing with it and just keep trying to do things that are really pointless, like cutting the windows out of the windscreen. So the plan is still to make a covering for here and make a kind of a triangular shaped dashboard sort of front, and fill in that hole, add the floor, green stuff in here, green stuff a few gaps maybe here if I need to, green stuff this, and then paint it. That's the plan. Oh, and I want to maybe add a bit of plastic card on the top of here just to make it one smooth piece. That's the plan. Whether I stick to it, that's another thing, but we'll see. Finish the mesh floor, have it cut out perfectly because I didn't want to add any height to this here, so I cut it out so it would fit perfectly in here. Pieces together nicely. So yeah, that's probably the first positive step I've really taken on this project in a little while now. Everything else, anything that's come down to cutting or measuring is usually gone horribly wrong. Although in fairness, this is my second attempt at doing it. I did miscut this on my first attempt, so I did have to start again, but when you've got this much of it for €3, you can kind of afford to make a few mistakes. Next step is plastic card here. There I have this nifty little ruler. I can actually measure it, what I want, instead of eyeballing. The only problem is with this still being loose because I want to be able to remove it to paint it. It's not perfect. I'll have to try and hold it in its place as best I can while I measure it. Okay, it's clearly too wide, but you know, better to be too wide than too short, I guess. A little bit too conservative on the measurement. See how this stuff clips. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit better size-wise. Width-wise, at least, anyway. That's a little too short. So even with a measuring tool, ruler, I still managed to get it wrong. Not once, but twice. Third time's a charm. Too big. So I'm just going to sand this down very slightly, only a couple of mil just to get it to fit in there. And then I can start working on the height of it. Okay, so after a lot of messing around, got to a point where I'm somewhat happy with this. I'm going to give this a bit of a filing once it's dried to try and tidy it up a little bit, make it less of a line, try and curve it in or angle it or something. Fill a little bit here with green stuff, maybe a little bit here as well. Make sure it all fits together. I haven't really been test fitting as I've been going, so that's not great on my part. I glued in the mesh floor and I think I glued it a little bit too close to the edge, so I might need to just clip a little bit of that off. But that looks like it'll fit fine. And obviously the front plate, that's also fine. Green stuff is all applied and dried and cured, so it's time to start chopping that up. I just got myself a nice little cutting mat because my desk surface was getting destroyed. Cutting mat came with this knife, which is super fucking sharp. Sliced my wrist, maybe killed myself. So be careful with knives, disclaimer. This came a few days ago, or probably a week or two ago. I don't know, I don't remember filming it, so I'm gonna say I didn't film it. 2 plasma guns, rigged up as twin-link plasmas. Commander head, guy kind of shouting, pointing, with a nice little kind of prosthetic arm. So that's the guy for the Primaris Rhino. He's done. I'm using sandpaper for this stuff because it's gonna start filing, but it's gonna just take me ages to file across this whole thing. So this part wouldn't have been so bad, but I can get a nice flatter edge if I just sand it. So I'm using some 800 grit sandpaper and just working it along until this is kind of smooth. So that's not looking too bad there now. and I'll do this part then next. I think the angle of it works. I will just about miss the face and not shave it off. That could be awkward if that happens. Oh, something's breaking. I felt something snap. That's not great. Have to be a little bit more gentle maybe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I don't know if you can see it, but the green, I built the green stuff up quite high. So what I'm going to do is just slice along it and try and get a good smooth line, and then file it. File smooth, I think. Okay, sand time. Let's hope I don't get the face. It's starting to break really badly now though. That's the only problem. If I just add some glue in there just to try and keep it together. If I keep sanding it though, it's just gonna break off. And it's not even the green stuff is still attached here to the blue section. It's actually the plastic art is actually breaking off from the green stuff around here. So if I add some glue in here, maybe it just might hold it together. Okay, I'm happy enough with how this is looking now. I just still need to get this. I mean, I'm happy enough with how this line is. I mean, but this excess here, I still need to kind of get rid of. I have to stop sanding it because it was breaking apart. It's nice, smooth enough in here as well. Here's not too bad. Almost done. Okay, I'm somewhat happy with this. I think it's okay. Should look okay once it's painted, I think. I'm just annoyed that this is kind of breaking here now. It's making it, I can't smooth out this green stuff down as much. But I think it's gonna be fine. I'll put it back in there for now and try and let the glue dry into its position and hope for the best. Okay, then on to this nightmare of a thing that I decided to do for some stupid reason. I can honestly say doing this is the biggest regret I have in this whole project. This ideally would need some more green stuff, but I'm not going to bother. Because the way that's going to be positioned there, you're actually never going to see underneath there again. Dare I say, I think I'm done. I think I'm just going to leave it sit for a day and see how I feel about it, and paint it, I think. Finally. Right, so just to finish the video off then, I can't, well, I needed to make one more piece, which was this. That's just the piece that it's gonna go on here just to make that look a little bit tidier. So once I made that, I decided it's time to start painting. And everything's sprayed. I think one or two pieces this needs to go over a little bit more. Need to give this another coat. Just the way this was sitting on the board, I didn't get enough coating in there and just over there, so give that another spray. Everything else is pretty much sprayed and good to go. The green stuff work here isn't too bad. There's a noticeable line, but I'm not too worried about it. It's okay for a first go of working with green stuff, I think. So I'm happy enough with how it looks. It looks straight anyway, which is the most important thing. Yeah, around here doesn't look too bad either. The hole that I accidentally cut with the hacksaw looks okay. It's a little bit rough here, but I might just paint the kind of like a silvery, rusty kind of color, make it look like damage. Oh, this part I need to spray a little bit more in here because it didn't really get too much coverage there, especially actually in here. Yeah, I just need to go. It got really late and dark outside, so I just brought everything in. But most things are ready to go. So that's it, really. The only thing I will say is don't expect a finished update video on this for a long time because I am slow as hell to paint things. As you can tell by this vindicator that I started painting before I start building this. So yeah, that's what I do. I start projects and I don't finish them. Oh! Poor vindicator driver. I actually haven't been working this project for as long as I thought. I started on the 15th of September and today is the 1st of October, so just slightly over 2 weeks. And bear in mind, a lot of that was waiting for parts. I was waiting for plastic card, I was waiting for bits for the driver mainly, I was waiting for stuff for the... Oh shit! I didn't spray this for the Primaris variant. I guess I'll just do that later. So yeah, as I said, don't expect another video on this for a while. I have video, this is part 3, I have video 1, 2 and 3 all pretty much edited. I'm just going to release them over a couple of days. So don't expect part 4 to be coming in the next 2 or 3 days. It's going to be more or less the next 2 or 3 weeks / months. So yeah, that's the end of the building of the Rhino Damocles.